What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jesse Lima here for another BCML Monday. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Alright, so check it out. So for this video, what I'm gonna be showing y'all is how to do a skin fade comb over with a hard part and a natural shaped up beard. Alright, so in this video right here, I'll be using my Andis Supra ZR cordless lithium ion detachable blade clippers. So you want to start off by making your first guideline. With these clippers I'm using right now, the 000. You want to make sure you clean up all the hair that's under the guideline. Alright, so right here I'm using my Andis Pro Foil Lithium Titanium Foil Shavers. These things right here are real good, man. They shave real close to the skin without getting too close to where you're gonna give somebody razor rash or razor bumps. So you want to make sure you pull the skin nice and tight when you pass this, just like you would with the razor. When you're coming up close to the initial guideline, you don't want to take it all the way to that first guide, because man, if you ball that out all the way to there, it'll be a mission to get that line out. Alright, so right here I got my 3.5 blade on my detachable clipper. And I'm going to go all the way around the head from the right side to the left side, flicking at almost where the crown is. And then around the back of the head, and you want to slightly go a little bit lower. Notice the way I flick, I don't just go straight into the hair that's on top. I'm kind of flicking away from the hair to kind of naturally blend it right in. So every time you see me step back, what I'm doing is I'm switching down to a shorter guard, because I'm fading from top and down. So right now the blade that I'm using is a number 2 3/4 blade. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and switch down to the 2 blade. Continuing the same exact steps, just flicking the wrist and going almost to pretty much where I left off at with the other blade. Notice how I use some of the corners sometimes to dig into the darker spots. Right now I switched over to the 1 3/4. So the reason I use those corners like that is basically if you pass the whole blade wherever there's a dark spot at, what you're going to keep on doing is you're going to keep on creating lighter spots around it and a darker spot on the inside. So by using the corners, you'll be digging in just directly to where the dark spots are. So you'll be able to get that out and give it the illusion of a perfect blend. So now I switched over to the 1.5 guard. And all I'm doing is the same exact steps, man, just from right to left, left to right, going over almost the same area, just flicking it away. Alright, so now I just switched over to the 1/4 guard. And notice how I'm going a little bit lower than where I was at in the beginning. And pretty much the closer you get to the bottom line, the more you want to flick, just to make it easier to blend. Alright, so now I'm using the 1A. The 1A is similar to like the 1/8 on the Andis Masters closed all the way, or the number 1 closed on the Wall Seniors. Alright, so now I'm going to use my Wall Seniors to fade out the bottom line. I'm going to start with the blade opened up all the way, and little by little closing it till I get down to the 000 and completely take out my initial guideline. Now I'm going to be fading in sections. So I'm starting on the left side and get that line all the way out. So remember what I was talking about, those corners. Notice how I just dig at that one spot right there, because he has an indentation in his head, which makes it look a little darker there. So then now I'm going to go ahead and do the back of the head. Same exact steps. I'm gonna open up the blade all the way first, and little by little close it all the way until I get down to the 000. Alright, so I noticed how there was a little bit of a shadow above the where I did left off with the half with the wall seniors. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the one guard on there and start off with it opened up. I always like to start opened up and then close it little by little as I go down until pretty much the shadow is gone. Right now the guard that I'm using on there is the half guard that they sell for a wall. It's definitely a nice guard to have just to get in between the one and the open up on the wall. It just makes it a little bit easy. So now I'm on the final side, the right side. Just repeating the same exact steps. Remember, opened up lever, and little by little, blend going down, closing the lever step by step. All the way till you get that zero line out. Now you want to make sure your clippers are adjusted and zero gap so that you can get the line out. Alright, so off the subject now, I just want to thank you guys for everything, man. Keep subscribing, keep following me. Make sure y'all go onto my Instagram too and follow me at Jesse Lima. Yeah, if there's any haircuts in particular that you guys need help with, or any tricks, any techniques, I could always just DM me on my Instagram, and I'll definitely do everything I can to make some videos just for that. Alright, so right here what I did was I put the 1.5 guard on the all seniors, and I'm just kind of trying to flick the very top where all the weight is, just to kind of thin it out a little bit. I'm not really trying to dig too much into it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back with the thinning shears and then the shears and really blend that out. Alright, so you want to make sure you separate the long hairs from the shorter hairs on the side where the part is. So right here what I'm doing is I'm just shear over comb with my thinning shears just to take out some of the bulk. So my technique to this, really I cut from the furthest away from the head so I get closer to the scalp. And I'm not really trying to dig too much into the scalp either, because the last thing you want to do is cut too close and then you're going to have all these little fray hairs just sticking all over the place. So then now you notice I switched over to my regular shears. So what I'm doing is all those little tiny hairs that are sticking out, because you know when you cut with the thinning shears, it cuts the hair uneven. They cut some hair and leave some hair. So all I'm doing is taking out those little hairs that are left behind. And that's what makes it easy to blend out with the shears, as you see there. And I'm going to do it in sections. I'm going to do one side, then I'm going to do the back side, and then I'm going to do the other side. And then notice that I'm going in like against the direction of the hair growth, the pattern. So you see I'm angling my shears and angling the comb. So what I'm doing is to kind of give it that layered effect, because this area right here is a real delicate area. You don't ever want to cut too much hair, because then the hair is just going to stick right up. And no matter how much gel you put on it, you will not be able to flatten it out. So pretty much what you want to do is just start from the tips and work your way closer until you get it to that length that you want it to, that looks like it's laying down smooth. And then this side I'm just taking out some bulk from where the transition area is to give it a better blend. So whenever I'm blending the with the shears, I always like to do it dry. I think it comes out better that way. And now that I'm gonna move on to the top part of the head and cut it down some, I'm gonna go ahead and wet that part, because that right there, it's better to cut it while it's wet. And if you wet it, you want to make sure it's all nice and evenly wet too, because if some hairs are wet and some hairs are dry, it's not fully wet, and the hair is not gonna come out evenly. So with his hair in particular, my client, he likes it when I thin it out a lot on the top, because he's got real thick hair and it's kind of hard for him to style it the way he wants it, for it to lay down without looking kind of bulky. So that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. I'm just thinning out the whole top. There's no particular pattern that you have to follow or no guideline that you have to follow when you're thinning out the hair. You just want to make sure you cut, a little bit less than half of the length on top. Now we're just getting into the shape up. With him in particular, I like to keep his shape up real natural. So all I'm doing is just lifting up all those little hairs and just edging right under just to give him a clean front line. He has a pretty straight, natural front line. So notice how I switched up from the brush to the comb, because now I'm dealing with the longer hair. So when you're dealing with the short hair, you want to use a brush. When you're dealing with longer hair, you want to make sure you use a comb. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean up his part. I'm not going to make it too wide, but I'm not going to keep it too thin either. You definitely want it to stand out. So the first thing I do, I notice how I'm holding his hair down tight. What I'm working on is on that side of the line, the part where it's closer to the longer hairs. Get that part nice and sharp. And then I'll go ahead and turn my edges the other way around and work on the side where the shorter hair is. And make that side of the part nice and crisp. That's how you get that real detailed part line. Now, same thing goes for his beard. He likes a natural look, so all I do is just knock off a little bit of the fuzz that's on his cheek. I like to shape up the eyebrows with the edges first and then come back with the razor a little bit later. I do that in particular mainly, for all those little long hairs that stick up, you really can't get those with the razor. So I feel like if you go in with the razor first, you're going to end up cutting out too much hair. You know how it is with the eyebrows. One hair that you take out too much is going to completely change the look of the eyebrow. Alright, so now I'm applying some of the new Xotics shave gel before I pass the razor on his line. So you always want to make sure you stretch the skin out good before you go in with the razor, so you can avoid cutting them or irritating the skin. See, since I went ahead and outlined his eyebrows with the edges, now I could just come back with the razor and just clean it up. Alright, so now I'm going to spray his hair with a little bit of Xotics blue water. I like the way it moisturizes his hair and softens it up. And then now you can go ahead and just get one of your favorite products. Right here in particular, the product that I'm using in his hair is the Xotics hair serum. When used with a blow dryer, y'all have seen what it does. But when you use it with a little bit of water or a little bit of blue water, you see it gives it that wet look, kind of like if it had gel in it, but it keeps it nice and soft. After you style the hair, you can always come back with the shears and just knock out any extra weight that may have been left behind. Because of course when the hair is dry, it's still kind of poofy, so when you wet it or put some product in, it's going to lay it down. Another technique you could use is you get your clippers slightly opened up to get all those little frayed hairs that stick up. At the end of the day, the one thing that my clients always tell me that they appreciate, especially new clients, is my attention to detail, and that right there is like the most important thing. So basically, this is the finished cut right here, but you see there's a little shadow right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that 1.5 back, and just go ahead and just flick it out a little bit. Next, I'm gonna go into his beard. So I combed his beard out real good, and now I'm just shaping it up, taking down a little bit of weight from the cheeks, so it doesn't give him, like a wide jaw effect, but more or less like a longer chin. Make the beard look like it's longer towards the chin. The clippers that I'm using here is the Wall Magic Clip 5 stars, the cordless ones. These are some really good clippers. I like them a lot, and they have the surgical blade on them. So for this in particular, shaping up the beard or clipper over comb, stuff like that is really good. And basically where I have the blade set at right now, it's not closed all the way, but just leaving it a little bit open, so you have some teeth to pretty much grab the hair as you pass it, which just gives it a better shape. So here's the final product: skin tight fade with a comb over, a hard part, and a natural shaped beard. Alright man, so I want to thank you guys for tuning in for another VCM on Monday. Make sure y'all tune in for next week's. And make sure y'all subscribe, hit those like buttons, drop them comments, and make sure y'all follow me on Instagram too at Jesse Lima. Peace.